Alright guys, what's up? Having a hell of a time today, not just because of this mod, but just one thing. I wanted to make you this quick little video, and all of a sudden my camera's not working. I can't switch it from picture to video, so I can just take frickin' pictures with it now apparently. So I got to use this telephone real quick, but I do want to go ahead and try and make this quick little video before the battery dies, because of course my battery's almost dead on this phone. So anyway, I got this Cherry Bomber right here. I got the same problem a lot of people have had, and that is the fact that the button gets hot, or the spring collapses, and the tent on the button just isn't there anymore. But most of all, basically it just quits working. I put the magnet upgrade in it this morning, and then basically it wasn't working at all anymore. And the reason for that is because basically the spring, which I got a couple springs here. This is the one that came in it. The spring was the thing completing the circuit, which is not what you want. The spring will heat up, and then the spring will collapse, and that's why the springiness disappears out of your button, is because the spring will collapse. This is the one that came in it. This is the one I stole out of an RC car, out of the out of where the AA batteries would go or whatever. I kind of modified it so it would work. It worked for a little bit, but as you can see, it discolored. I don't know if you can see that with this phone or not. It discolored, and that's because it got hot, because it was completing the circuit and not the button, and it eventually collapsed as well. So once I put the magnets in, basically it wouldn't work at all anymore, and that's because the spring wasn't there to complete the circuit. And basically what you need is the button to touch all the way against the mod in order to complete the circuit, or it just isn't going to work. So as you can see, mine is working all the time now, and it works hella good. And I'm going to show you real quick. I'm not going to take it apart because I don't have enough time before my battery dies. But I do want to show you real quick. So I'm going to try and just set this phone here. And I'm going to show you real quick. Take the battery cover off there. Where the heck did my screwdriver go? Screwdriver. Take these screws out real quick. This is going to be a terrible... you can probably see what you need to see for the most part, but you can take Heckle and Jekyll out here, and alright, so you need to use a flathead up here and remove this contact here that the button is touching against. Okay, you probably already know. You probably mess with it a lot. There's juice all over this thing. So I'm not going to take it apart, but look, take this 510 out, unscrew it, take this nut off here, which is just that part with the flat in it. Make sure you get the flat back where it goes. But anyway, take that thing out, and then take this screw out right here. That screw is what holds your button in, but it's also what contacts this ring, which is actually what makes it fire. The thing is when that screw comes against it here, if your button's not touching the mod, then it's not going to fire. The only reason it works with that spring in there is because the spring's touching the button and the spring's touching the box, but that ain't worth a dick. So anyway, just take this screw out, which is real easy to do once you take the 510 out. Take that one little screw out right there, and then the button will come out. But then I'm going to use this here screw just to show you, and get you some sandpaper like so. And I just did it right here on the bench, and I went like so. Hopefully you can see that. I don't even know if the phone is looking right at it. Just take you some off the top part, or the face of the screw where the slot is at, and then that way the button will depress further. And you just got to find the sweet spot. Just take a little off at first, and you might have to do it 2 or 3 times or something. I really only did it, I think, twice. And once you take the right amount off of this screw that holds the button in, once you take the right amount off of that screw, then the button will be able to travel in far enough to touch against the box, and that is what will make it fire, and then it'll start working again. So I know lots of people, there's completely quit working on them. They took it apart a bunch of times and they couldn't figure out what it was or whatever the case is. The case is this button needs to ground out on the box when it touches this ring on the 510 in order to complete the circuit. So that's what it is. So once you file that screw down a little bit on some sandpaper, put it all back together and try it again. And like I said, maybe it'll take 2 or 3 times. Don't take too much off all at one time. And then once you do that, it'll start hitting like a champ again. Guarantee it. So there you go. If you got any more questions, let me know.